Oi oi, it's your boy Hawker back with another video, this time focusing on TyLoo and their play on Inferno so far at Pro League. TyLoo first picked Inferno in their opening 3 games of Pro League, but they haven't posted the best results, especially on the T side. Against FaZe and OG, they were only able to muster 5 rounds on their T half, and against G2, it was even worse. They only got 3 rounds on the board on their T side. And I think the main problem TyLoo have been having is that they're not playing to the strengths of their skilled roster. So I've picked out 2 rounds which I think encapsulate this perfectly. So this first round comes fairly early in the half, with TyLoo yet to get a round on the board on their T side. And you're going to see quite an intricate round here from TyLoo. Freeman lines up a smoke which lands at A long, and then a Molotov which lands at A short. And then Zeta lines up a second Molotov which lands under porch and ensures that TyLoo can take top mid control pretty safely. And this ends up accomplishing exactly what TyLoo wanted it to. They force Mantu off short, they get top mid control and a chance to set up their play. Unfortunately though, TyLoo don't actually hang around at top mid, so all this utility kind of ends up being wasted as Mantu is allowed to repeat anyway and get away with a kill before TyLoo can start to set up their execute. So as much as I do want to give some credit to TyLoo for trying to evolve their game, for trying to adapt to the Western meta, I think TyLoo's strength normally comes from their aggression and their individual skill. And you see in this round that Freeman actually goes off the top mid angle for no real reason. And I think this shows that TyLoo are just kind of running strats without realizing exactly what the aim is in some of these situations. That's why when they actually trade onto Mantu and start barreling onto the A bomb site, this probably works out better for TyLoo in this round, because now they're relying on their aggression, they're relying on their aim and their individuals, and so they get themselves onto the bomb site in a decent position, not really because of the execute, but more just because of the individual players. So that round was an example of TyLoo coming into a round with a clear game plan of wanting to go for an execute. But here in round 12, TyLoo end up using a lot of their utility before they can actually move towards a bomb site, so they decide they're going to have to go for more of a contact play. The only utility TyLoo used to actually take the bomb site is this CT smoke from Zeta, which is thrown on the fly, and then this flash over the top from Freeman, joined by a flash thrown by Attacker, again which is on the fly. And this means that unlike some of the previous rounds, TyLoo are a bit more unpredictable here. Instead of trying to go into the round with an execute or coming into the round with a plan, this looks like a B play which is much more called on the fly and therefore is much more difficult to predict from the OG side. It's also worth saying that Freeman still throws some other nades, but he leads with the flashbang for the contact play and then follows it up with a smoke for coffins and a Molotov for triple box. So because they're not executing initially, OG don't get as much early information and have a tough time adapting to these flashbangs which blind them. As you saw earlier, Valder got especially wrecked by these flashes which allowed TyLoo to close the distance. And then Mantu got blinded enough that by the time he can actually see again, he's smoked off, so he's not got many chances to get frags. The other upside is that OG don't have time to rotate. Because these flashes are so good from TyLoo, it's only a couple of seconds before they move onto the site. Valder can't slow them down because he's completely blind, and this gives TyLoo a much better chance at success, and I think again plays to their strengths of having good fraggers, good individuals who like to play aggressive. So I think the main takeaway here is try to play to your strengths and don't try and imitate Astralis. Astralis' strengths are their team play, their intelligence, and their good fundamentals as a squad, so they try to make the most of that. But if you try and play like Astralis and you don't have the team play, and you don't have the overall idea of the strategy, you're going to make mistakes that end up costing you rounds. I mean, just look at Zeta's POV in this earlier round. If anything, the utility they used earlier actually kills him here, because he thinks short is clear with the earlier nades that we used, and because TyLoo make the slight mistake of not holding short, he ends up not even looking that direction. And as much as I appreciate TyLoo trying to evolve, trying to improve, and trying to add some executes into their game plan, I think the problem that they're having is they're trying to make these execute style of rounds their bread and butter and rarely running these contact plays, which I think should be their main focus. At least for the time being, until maybe their executes find a bit more success in practice or their team play starts to improve. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully TyLoo can start to play to their strengths and start to use their skill more successfully. Thank you guys for watching and I'll catch you next time.